Yeah, we'll get. So once again, my name is Susan Walker. Thank you very much. We know it's a busy time for everybody, and after 19 months, we might be getting a little zoomed out, but we're super excited. Viking has some amazing, amazing new itineraries and everything. So without further ado, I am very pleased to welcome our very good friend from Viking River and Ocean and now Expedition Cruising, Kim Lucy. Welcome, Kim.
Thank you, Susan, and thank you to all of the Expedia teams in Southern Alberta. Thank you for inviting me, and it's really a great pleasure to be able to talk to many of your clients this afternoon or this evening, and to welcome you back to the world. I think we're all very anxious to get back to traveling. I know I'm super excited. I'm actually going on my first river cruise in middle of November, and really looking forward to getting out and exploring the world again. So today I'm going to take you on that journey. I'm going to share some of the amazing things that we're doing at Viking, some of the great new destinations you might want to add to your bucket list, and also to just give you a little taste of one of my favorite river cruise itineraries, just some of the highlights of some of the ports of call that we visit, and give you a little taste of that experience. So for those of you, Susan introduced me. I have been in the industry for over 35 years. I've spent time in the cruise industry that entire time, 20 years with a big ocean cruise company, and the last almost 13 years with Viking. So it's been really an amazing experience. And I love to travel. I love to travel by river and by ocean. And I have a very long list that has been waiting to be explored for the past year and a half. And so maybe you're like me, maybe you have that bucket list backup. Well, one of the things that Viking does offer, I know a lot of people recognize us as a river cruise line, but we do travel around the world with a variety of products now. So some of the ports of call that you see on this map are ones that you can visit by ocean on our incredible world cruise. But if you're looking, we do travel to 7 continents. We sail on 5 different oceans with our 8 ocean ships. We travel along 20 rivers with 74 river ships. And we even go into North America, so you can travel on some of the Great Lakes, as well as through 95 countries and visit 403 ports of call. So we really can take you anywhere you want to go in the world. So hopefully today I can add a few things to that bucket list. Viking's been around for a long time. We're celebrating our 24th anniversary this year. We started off in Russia with 4 river ships. We expanded our fleet to 74 river ships sailing around the world, as I mentioned. You can see the majority of our beautiful river ships are in the lower photograph that you see there. These are our long ships, and they are all identical. Which makes it easy, as well as our beautiful ocean ships that joined our fleet in 2015. We have 10 ships that will be sailing over the next couple of years, and these 2 are identical. So it means it's very easy to move from ship to ship. It's very easy to move from product to product. You're going to feel at home no matter where you go. They're small and intimate. They range from about 40 guests on some of our smaller river ships, all the way up to 930 guests on our beautiful ocean ships. And they are small enough, though, to go right into the heart of the destination. So the nice thing about this is that you can step off, you spend more time in your port of call and less time getting there. We spend long hours in the port of call. We don't have a lot of sea days. We really are about immersing our guests in that destination. That's what they're looking for. You'll also find that they're green technology with solar panels, hybrid engines, the latest in environmental equipment, as well as reduced fuel consumption, reduced vibration, and also reduced noise. So we're very conscious of the impact that we're having with our fleet on the environment, and we're doing everything we can to try and reduce that. But we also give you 4 different choices, as I mentioned, to travel around the world. Here you see our 2 core products, our river and our ocean ships, but we also have a Mississippi ship, the first of many to come, I'm sure, that will be joining our fleet in the middle of 2022. And also 2 beautiful expedition ships that are being built. especially for us. One of them is already in the water and ready to sail starting the beginning of January, and the other will join our fleet mid-year. So we've got lots of places for you to explore, whether it's around the world, by ocean, by river, to the far reaches of the earth on expedition, or through the heart of North America by Mississippi and through the Great Lakes with our expedition ships. But you'll find, as I mentioned, this lovely understated elegance, Scandinavian decor, lots and lots of light and windows and natural fabrics and woods throughout. So it's a very comfortable experience. Little touches with lots of wonderful art and photography and little surprises that harken back to our Viking heritage. You can see in that top photograph the entrance lobby to our beautiful ocean or river ships, with lots and lots of windows and two-story atrium with skylight at the top. On the lower photograph is the lobby of our ocean ships with a lovely video screen that shows ever-changing art and photographs and destinations, as well as small little conversation areas and live music. So it's a wonderful place to get to know your fellow passengers, to get to know the crew, maybe enjoy a cup of coffee or a lovely glass of wine or a cocktail as you listen to music from some of our wonderful guest artists, some of them coming from some of the best orchestras in the world, like the Mariinsky in St. Petersburg. So you'll have a chance. The staterooms are also very comfortable. In the top, you'll find, again, lots and lots of windows. In the top photograph is one of our staterooms from our river ships with floor to ceiling windows, sliding glass doors, lovely, lovely amenities throughout. And on the lower photograph, you've got our standard stateroom for our ocean ships. They're all verandas. They all have open windows and step out verandas. And on our river ships, we also offer a variety ranging from our standard to our French balconies, our full step out verandas, 2-room suites, and some of the largest suites afloat. So you can really indulge and entertain your friends if you like. So this is just a taste of what we have to offer. Your Expedia consultant is the best person to talk to help you find the best fit for you, whether it's by budget or size or whatever you want. You'll also enjoy destination dining. We know that that's why we travel, right? I love to try the local foods as I go through many of the destinations that I visit, and we've got a wide variety for you. Our menus offer a destination-focused choice every day, depending on the port of call we're in. We also have a changing menu every day with a nice selection of meat, fish, and vegetarian entrees, lots of organic food. And we also offer what I call comfort food, which is steak, Caesar salad, chicken, and salmon on a menu that stays the same. So if something doesn't appeal to you, you've always got a fallback position or something that's reminiscent of home. So you have to explore and enjoy that in some of our many dining venues. Both are on all of our products. But we also know that people that travel with us love to explore. They're all about touching, tasting, feeling, and experiencing that destination to the fullest. So we do that through the Viking way of exploration. Here you'll have a chance to enjoy the local life and wander through the maybe get to know the locals by meeting them in their personal homes or going shopping with the chef, maybe taking a cooking class. I love to eat, I love to cook, I love to peek in people's houses. And that's one of the things that I enjoy most about traveling with Viking. We also do Working World, which takes you into the countries and teaches you about the economy. So maybe you're a car buff and maybe you like to visit the BMW factory or the Mercedes factory or the Volkswagen factory that you see here. These are some of the experiences that we offer as optional tours for those who want to dig a little deeper. Maybe you'd like to go and learn about winemaking or how the cognac, the brandy industry has evolved in cognac in France, or maybe you'd like to learn about a cheese farm. These are all opportunities through Working World that you can do. And then we also have privileged access. It takes you behind the scenes, kind of pulls back the curtain and gives you a chance to peek into things that most people don't get to see. Like, for example, meeting the Viennese Boys Choir in their residence, sitting in on one of their rehearsals, and also getting to enjoy a much more intimate personal performance and a chance to talk with them. When I did this, one of the little boys that I met, there's over 100 boys that are part of this incredible ensemble. And one of the little boys that I met was from Calgary. And that was really fun to be able to talk to him. So it's a fantastic opportunity. You get to go behind the scenes at many of the art galleries, some of the great museums. Privileged access gives you that chance to get in without the crowds. And that's one of the things that I truly love. And also ask you to take out your wallet. This is one of the things I love best about cruising on the rivers or with small ship cruising with Viking, is that we include virtually everything. We don't include everything because not everybody wants to pay for things they don't use. For example, we don't include our um, alcohol and soft drinks between meals because the guests are off the ship a lot of the time. So rather than do that, we offer some options, including a beverage package or that you can prepay, or we also have a no corkage policy. So we encourage you to try local. By all means, bring on some of the local wine, beer, or duty free if you prefer. And you can take them anywhere on the ship. But we include a short excursion each port of call. We include multiple dining venues, more casual as well as more formal, some alternate restaurants on our ocean ships and our expedition ships. We also have beer, wine, and soft drinks included with lunch and with dinner. We include specialty coffees and teas, bottled water, Wi-Fi. We use beautiful 4- and 5-star hotels for pre and post, as well as our cruise tour packages. And we also include the in-room entertainment. You also don't have to look for fine print to find extra costs buried in the terms and conditions. Everything that you see is what you would be included. We also don't include optional tours. So if you want to dig a little deeper into an experience or destination, you can do that. But it's a smaller group. There is an extra charge for those because they are a little bit more exclusive, a little bit smaller. Maybe they take you a little further afield, or there's an expert that travels with you on the tour. We also don't include gratuities. Gratuities are discretionary, but you can prepay those in advance. So you really don't have to take your wallet out if you don't want to. So talk to your Expedia consultant and they can help you make the right choices. Now, I also wanted to touch on health and safety protocols. I know a lot of people are starting to travel again, and it seems a little intimidating. I have to agree with you. What do we have to do? What kind of tests do we have? Or am I going to be safe once I'm on board? So I wanted to just give you a quick overview on what we do offer, and also to give you a chance to you can learn more from your Expedia consultant. We do have video of a walkthrough of our ship and all the protocols, as well as more detailed information. But we have all of our guests traveling with us must be fully vaccinated, as is all our crew. We do have daily PCR testing every single day on board our ships, river, ocean, expedition, and soon our Mississippi ships. We have built PCR labs right on board our ocean ships. And for the river guests, we are using the same company that has labs situated all along the river and throughout the world. And they're able to turn these tests around very quickly. They are not nasal tests, they are saliva tests, very non-invasive. You just spit into your test tube every morning, and our staff will pick it up and we'll do the testing. We also do daily health checks as well as temperature checks. We are masked right now, and that depends on what's going on in the countries that we visit. We want to keep everybody safe, including the people that we visit in those ports of call. So we do have social distancing. We have expanded provided extra space, as well as lots and lots of sanitation systems. Now, a lot of people are worried about individual air systems in the rooms. And one of the things Viking's always done is have individual controlled air in each of the staterooms. All of our ships have been this way, and we have continued. We've also added 4-stage air purification systems throughout our ships, and that takes the air through ultraviolet lights, as well as a 4-stage air purification system that takes 99.99% of all bacteria and viruses out of the environment. So that is another system. We have UV robots that go throughout the ship at night while you're sleeping to sanitize everything. And we also have lots and lots of ongoing sanitation as well. So that gives you a little bit of an overview. We have been sailing now since June. We have, and our guests have really enjoyed the experience. They tell us that it is not that different from what they experienced prior to COVID, that the protocols are not invasive, and they are just loving being able to get out and cruise again. So I hope that makes you feel a little bit more confident. Now let's take a look at where you can go and what you can do. We're going to start off with the river, and I do always like to start with a map because I think it gives you a better idea of where these ships are and where you can sail through the heart of Europe. I know as a coming from the ocean cruise world, I thought you could only sail around the outside of countries like this. But when I saw this map and I saw this incredible river system that runs through the heart of Europe, it made me realize that one of my favorite things to do is cruise. And I could now do it through the heart of Europe. I've done it by car, plane, and trains, but to see it from the river is another wonderful way to really explore and enjoy Europe. So we travel actually all the way from the North Sea, all the way down the Rhine, up over the Main-Danube Canal System, which is a series of 40 to 60 locks, only completed in 1992, and that connects with the Danube. That will take you all the way down to the Black Sea. Now, we do have a 23-day, 8-country trip. If you want to do the whole thing, lots of people do. They're booking those longer cruises. You can certainly do that. Or you can do shorter versions. You can do just Eastern Europe, just the Danube, just the center part of the Main-Danube area. You can go from Amsterdam all the way down to Switzerland. You can go to Portugal or France, up to Russia or the Ukraine. We also go to Southeast Asia, to Egypt, and we will be sailing along through the heartland of the US on the Mississippi. So this is some of the options that we have. Now, for first-time cruisers, they always say to me, where should I go first? I don't know what to pick. So if you're looking for a shorter cruise, maybe you're like me on my very first cruise, I wasn't sure if I was gonna like it. I took the romantic Danube, but the Rhine getaway is one of my all-time favorites for people that are coming for the first time, mostly because the countries are so very distinctly different. You've got 4 very distinct countries, languages, and cultures, sailing between Amsterdam and Basel. The romantic Danube takes you along the Danube. So you've got the influence of the Austro-Hungarian Empire, and you've got the medieval towns, the grand cities like Vienna and Budapest. You've got the little medieval towns. But one of our most popular itineraries is the Grand European, and that puts them all together. And this one sails between Amsterdam and Budapest. We overnight in both of those cities. We overnight in Vienna on this itinerary as well. And you really get to see a lot of the part of Europe. Even if you've been to Europe before, this is a great itinerary because it takes you in to some of those little small places that maybe you haven't taken the time to stop at. I know when we get in the car or on a train or even on a plane, we go from one big city to another to see as much as possible, but we don't always go off the beaten track and visit some of the smaller places. And what I love about them is that is where a lot of the history started. These rivers were highways, and these little villages grew into larger metropolises, but we sail right into the heart of that old part of the city, and it really is a great place to learn about the history. So let's take a look at some of the itineraries, some of the ports of call that we visit. I'm just going to give you some highlights. If you want more detail, you have to come back and talk to me again on one of my more focused itineraries talks. But the Grand European it either starts or ends in Amsterdam, and I encourage you to come and stay a little bit longer at either end of your experience. Amsterdam is one of those amazing cities that you never get tired of exploring. It has more museums per square mile than any other city in the world, with great art galleries like the Rijksmuseum, Van Gogh Museum. You can study history and walk in the footsteps of Anne Frank and visit her house where she was hidden and wrote her diary. You can take a little river canal boats along these beautiful canals. You can rent a bike, or you can just wander the streets and drink in the atmosphere. We do dock here. This is where we set off from. We dock right in the heart of the city, so it's easy to walk into the old city. So you can do that if you want to stretch your legs, if you just come straight into Amsterdam and don't stay longer. But I really do encourage you to take a little extra time to explore. We also visit Cologne, which is a favorite of mine. And here, Cologne, you can see where we dock, right in the heart of the city. You step off and walk up the streets. About 10 minutes, you're right outside on the square, right outside the cathedral, which is the heart of Cologne. It is known for this incredible Gothic cathedral, one of the largest and the oldest in Europe. It's over 1,000 years old, and it's magnificent when you go inside. So you'll have a chance to go on a tour. You'll learn about the 2,000-year-old Roman history. You'll see some of the remnants of the the Roman Empire here. You'll get a chance to walk through some of the wonderful little winding streets. Now, this city was badly damaged by the Allies in the Second World War, and really the only building that remained intact was the Cologne Cathedral. So you'll have a chance to see some of the restoration. But one of my favorite things to do in the evening, because we do stay late, is to go across and either enjoy a local dinner. We have a wonderful tour that will take you on a pub crawl and a dinner, or you can just go and explore on your own and sit in some of the brew houses, try the local beer, and mix and mingle with the locals. It's also known for something else. Ladies, you might recognize eau de cologne. This is something you often put on every morning, and this is where they say perfume was first invented. And you can learn about the original fragrance 4711 and how it came to be here in Cologne as well. And then we sail along the Middle Rhine, which is a World UNESCO Heritage Site, and it's filled with 40 castles. You've got castles like the one you see, the Cat's Castle. You've got castles that are in ruin and castles that are still fully intact. And you'll get a chance to visit some of the museums that are situated in some of these castles as we visit. But we also do this stretch of the river in daylight hours. We do a lot of sailing at night through some of the industrial areas that are less pretty. And but we do make sure that you get to take in all of the great sites in the daylight hours, so that you don't miss anything. We also visit some of the small medieval towns. This is Miltenberg. It's a perfect example of the 10th and 11th century timbered buildings that you'll find throughout the stretch of the river. You'll see little winding staircases, castles on the hill, beautiful decorated window boxes. And you'll also, this is a great place to try and or stop and enjoy a great glass of beer and a pretzel to get in the mood. This area is also known for glass blowing, and we do bring a local glass blower on board to share some of their skills with you, so you can see up close how that's done. We also visit Passau. Passau is the last city in Germany before passing into Austria. And that photograph you see on the right-hand side shows you that it is at the confluence of 3 different rivers, the Ill, the Inns, and the Danube. It's a little bit of an island, the old part of the city. It's about 2.5 kilometers to walk. And it's situated right smack in the middle. Now, this city is fantastic if you want to be active. I've done a biking trip here. I've done a hiking excursion. I've gone out and done a brewery trip, and I've just stayed and enjoyed the beautiful city and explored. But it is known for that white building that you see down there, which is St. Stephen's Cathedral, and it houses the largest pipe organ in Western Europe, and we do a lovely concert there, so you can enjoy this wonderful city and learn a little bit about why it's so important in terms of watching the water levels as well on these rivers. We will sail also through the Wachau Valley, which is filled with little villages like the one you see here, Dürnstein, and you'll also get a chance to see and learn about the wine growing area of Austria, which is situated here. This area is also known for apricots and apricot orchards. And one of the great products out of here is the apricot jam and the apricot brandy, which make great souvenirs to bring home as well. And then we visit Vienna. Vienna, my favorite city, and here we're looking at the Hofburg Palace, what used to be the heart of the Austro-Hungarian Empire, and now it houses the Lipizan Stallions, the Viennese Boys Choir, and some wonderful museums and art galleries. So you have some time to wander through, but we do walking tour as well. Make sure we stay overnight, so you've got time, 2 days to explore. You can enjoy the music with a concert. You can go and sit in the cafes and try some of the local specialties like Wiener Schnitzel and apple strudel and Sachertorte. And then we end up in the beautiful city of Budapest. Here you can see Buda and Pest split by the Danube. This is a city that comes alive at night with the beautiful lights. You can see the Parliament buildings and our ship docks on that side of the river, close to the old part of Pest and very close to the large Grand Market, which is a great place for checking out the local food or doing some souvenir shopping as well. But it's a wonderful city for walking and enjoying the incredible Hungarian culture. So that gives you an idea of what a river cruise is all about. For those who are maybe been on that itinerary, maybe you're interested in wine. I know that Susan is, and I know John is, and probably many of you as well. So we have some great wine tasting travel trips. Bordeaux, which is Chateaus, Rivers, and Wines. It's an 8-day cruise through the heart of Bordeaux. You can try the great wines like Saint-Emilion and Pauillac and Medoc, and of course, Sauterne, that sweet, beautiful wine, as well as going up to Cognac and learning about the brandy industry. If you want to get down into Burgundy and Beaujolais, Lyon, Provence offers that option for you. You've got a chance to go and enjoy a little bit of that wine growing area, and then down through the crisp, the little villages that are filled with Russian ruins or not Russian, sorry, Roman ruins, and also the home of the rosé wines from this area. And of course, great food. We also go into the Rhine and the Moselle area, which is known for the crisp whites, the Gewürztraminers and the Sauvignon Blancs and the Chablis. We start off in Paris on a cruise tour. We stop in Rheims, which is the home of Champagne, and then onward to travel along the Moselle and the Rhine, where you can try some of that great wine. And we also visit Portugal. So if you're interested in topping off your meal with a lovely port, you'll learn all about it in Portugal with an overnight in Lisbon, and then cruising along the Douro River, which is one of the first protected wine areas in the world. Now, if you're a history enthusiast, as I am, I love these two itineraries. Paris in the heart of Normandy is all about history. You start off in Paris, which is a gigantic museum. You'll visit Rouen, which is where Joan of Arc was burned and condemned and burned at the stake in the medieval times. So there's medieval history. We spend a full day exploring where the Allies liberated France on the Normandy beaches, and then back to Paris. And one of my favorite itineraries that I've done is Russia. And this one gives you extra time to really indulge in the history of Russia with 3.5 days in St. Petersburg, 3.5 days in Moscow. And then we travel through the heart of Russia to some of the small cities where you'll learn and get to know many of the Russians a little bit more up close. We also do off the beaten track traveling. So if you're a river cruiser and you want to explore Egypt, if that's on your bucket list, it was on mine. I love this itinerary. We spent some time in Cairo, and then we flew down and joined Viking as portion, or will have by the end of next year, along the Nile River. So that experience is going to be the same as you might experience in other places that we visit. And you'll see some of the incredible temples that date back 5,000 years to the Egyptian period. And we also visit Southeast Asia with the magnificent Mekong, which explores Vietnam, both the north and the southern part. We stop in Hanoi, in Siem Reap, where the incredible temples of Angkor Wat are found, and then we sail along the Mekong River to Shadok, where we disembark, and we travel up to Ho Chi Minh City. Fantastic itinerary. I've been there several revolves around the Vietnam War, which of course played a part, but not as much of a part as some of the other great empires that existed in this area. Now we are, as I mentioned, coming into North America with this beautiful Mississippi ship called the Viking Mississippi. It's a hybrid. It's kind of a split between our river and our ocean ship, with all verandas, lots and lots of outdoor deck space, beautiful public areas. As you can see here, our Explorer's Lounge that opens out to the bow, where you're right at the bow of the ship with unobstructed views, the Aquavit Terrace that leads into our casual river cafe, perfect for alfresco dining and being able to just sit out and enjoy the scenery on a beautiful night, or the infinity plunge pool, which I love. I can just imagine myself dangling my feet over the edge, just like Tom Sawyer did when he was fishing off the edge of his pier into the Mississippi. We have a lovely selection of staterooms, as you can see, not unlike the ones that I showed you for river and ocean. They have verandas, all of them with the exception of our ADA approved staterooms, which are French balconies. But you can see again that lovely appointments, those sort of very calm colors, lots and lots of light and open air. Now we have 5 itineraries to choose from, including our southern charms in New Orleans, which is a round trip New Orleans through the winter months, going into some of these lovely little sort of top rated small American towns. and also home of the plantation homes, up to Vicksburg, the center of Civil War history. And as the weather improves, we move further north into Memphis. Of course, we all know Memphis for Graceland and Elvis, but it's also the home of the civil rights movement. And if you love to cook, Memphis barbecue, and of course, wonderful Memphis blues. From there, we head north in the summer months, arriving in the early part of July, sailing between St. Louis and St. Paul, Minneapolis, visiting Hannibal, which is the home of Mark Twain, the Quad Cities, for those of you in Alberta and maybe been out and spent some time haying with family and friends, as I did. With those tractors, those John Deere tractors, you can learn all about it. And then we do 3 sailings that do the full 15 days. Now, those have been so popular that we've actually opened them up through 2024, because most of 2022 and 2023 on those 15 days are already sold out. So they're fantastic if you want to take advantage. Now, I want to just talk briefly about our ocean cruises as well. We just were recognized, as you can see, for the 5th year in a row, we are recognized with Travel and Leisure, one of the top publications. But today we got word that we are #1 river and #1 ocean cruise line with Condé Nast. So these are very prestigious publications voted on by our guests. So we're very proud of that. And since we started in 2015, we've been at the top of the list. We have a lovely range of itineraries. We're Scandinavian. We're owned by one single gentleman who comes from Bergen, Mr. Torhagen, and he loves to share his beautiful homeland with our guests. He's a true Viking, and he wants to take our guests into all of the wonderful places that he loves and he grew up. So we overnight in Stockholm, we overnight in St. Petersburg, we overnight in Bergen, which is his hometown. We also do trips that go all the way up to the North Cape. So we've got lots of options for you in Scandinavia, but this is a particularly lovely itinerary. I want to remind you that we are an adult-focused cruise line with no children under 18. So we really are focused. We have no casinos on board our ocean ship either, which means we don't have to be outside the 20-mile limit. We can stay longer in port. And that's the whole idea, is that you get that time in the port of call. We sail closer to land so that you almost have that river cruise feeling. And we took that whole experience from river and put it onto small ship ocean cruising. So this is a wonderful cruise if you want to see both Scandinavia as well as the Baltic. We also do some amazing Mediterranean cruises. So if you have not been to the Med, or if you're like me, you've been many times, I still love to cruise in this area. And we do this through off season as well as peak season. I love the off season because all the tourists go away. You've got more time with the locals. The weather's beautiful and there's nobody in all of the sites that I want to see. So don't be afraid to travel off season in the Mediterranean. It's a beautiful time of year to go. And we have lots of wonderful experiences for you. Here you can see overnight in Barcelona, overnight in Venice. And again, reminder, these ships are small, so we dock in the center of town. We're not in those big cruise terminals. You don't have to wait for 3, 4, 5,000 people to get off. You can come and go really just like you do on a river ship. So it's a wonderful way to explore. Here you've got Croatia, you've got the Italian and the French Riviera, so wonderful to explore. Now, those of you like me who are anxious to start moving and sailing, we do have some great itineraries that are happening this fall, November, December, and into the early part of 2022, giving you access to things that are a little closer to home. This has been super popular, our Hawaiian Islands sojourn. This is a round trip itinerary out to Hawaii from Los Angeles. So there's some sea time. You can really enjoy the ship, but we also do some time in Hawaii doing a circumnavigation, and then we come back to Los Angeles. So these are 17 days, 5 guided tours. Remember that we do include the what am I trying to say? We include the tours. West Indies Treasures is another one that goes from Fort Lauderdale to a round trip, and it goes down into the deep Southern Caribbean. So this is another one. If you want to escape, it's 15 days, a little bit longer. We've got 9 countries and 9 guided tours. Panama Canal on the Pacific Coast. This is one I've always loved. This is a Los Angeles to Fort Lauderdale Panama Canal cruise, and we go back and forth. So if you've not done the Panama Canal, or you're like me and you've done it 3 times, I still never get tired of it. I still feel it's an amazing accomplishment. And I just love this whole experience of sailing from from the Atlantic to the Pacific coast. This is available November, February through March if you want to take advantage. And then for those of you who are like me that have been dying to travel and maybe have that really long list and are feeling like you're a little bit behind in your cruise experiences, how about the World Cruise? We do have a fantastic itinerary starting off in 2023 in December if you want to start then, or you can join in Los Angeles in 2024. It's 23 countries. And we've got, it's about 3 months. So you can enjoy all of these ports of call as we leave and travel through Southeast Asia and into Europe. It's a fantastic itinerary. So we do have a little bit of space left. We actually added a second itinerary because the first one sold out within about a week. So talk to your Expedia consultant if this appeals to you. And honestly, it's not crazy expensive. It works out to about $585 per person per day, Canadian, all included. So that includes business class air and all the amenities. Everything's included. It's a wonderful, wonderful trip. So if you're confused and you're thinking, okay, now you've confused me, I don't know what river, ocean, how about putting them both together? So we have a combination cruise that meets in Amsterdam. 2 ships come together, we swap our passengers. So you can either do ocean to start, Bergen to Amsterdam, into Scandinavia, into Norway, connecting in Amsterdam to join the Rhine Getaway, traveling between Amsterdam and Basel, Switzerland. We also include this with the Grand European. If you want to go all the way across to Budapest, we have options for that as well. So as I told you, we do have lots of options in Scandinavia. You can see quite a range of itineraries. We also have lots in the Mediterranean. We also have Caribbean. We will be going back to Australia and Southeast Asia once those countries open up for international travel. So these are all available. I wanted to just wrap up with just a tiny taste of our expedition. If you're one of those people who wants to see the far reaches of the earth in comfort, Viking's a great choice. We have 2 ships, the Octantis and the Polaris, that will be joining us starting in January. Now these ships are unique. We built them specifically for Viking. They have 3 stabilizer systems which help to control and make them more comfortable for guests who are traveling, particularly across the Drake Passage. They are also built with lots of outdoor space and a little bit narrower than most ships in this market because we bring them up to cruise through the Welland Canal into Niagara Falls. So it's a wonderful experience. You can see inside some of the beautiful similarities to our other ships, but we've also added Expedition Central, which is where you can meet some of our scientific experts. We're working with the Department of Ornithology at Cornell. They're bird experts. If you're a birder, you'll love this. They'll teach you how to do photography and all about the birds. We're also working with the Robert Scott Foundation and NOAA, which is the North American Oceanic and Atmospheric Association. These are all involved in active research, and we have a live laboratory on board with real scientists that are applying to do research on board our ship and be able to do that and share. Our guests are going to be able to go in and help out a little bit. We also have our beautiful Finza Terrace and our incredible theater with its large screen that slides into the roof and opens up to the Finza Terrace. So if stuff's going on live, you'll be able to see it as our experts talk, but we also can live stream from our submarines as well as our underwater drones. So if you don't want to get wet, you don't want to go into the water, you want to go down under it, but you can enjoy it from here. And then we have beautiful staterooms, as you can see. These are what are called Nordic balconies, and the upper part of that window slides down to create open air. We have lots of toys. So if one of those people likes to kayak, and know John's wife is a real kayaks, as well as kayaks. We have 2 6-seater submarines, which are complimentary to our guests, as well as 2 12-seater ribs, which can be covered or uncovered and are easily accessible from the interior of our ship. We deploy from inside, we bring you back up inside. So if you're not stable, don't want to try and navigate between 2 moving ships, you don't have to do that. You can board and go out on exploration in our ribs. So just to give you a quick idea where we go, we've got our Antarctic Explorer, which takes you into Antarctica. We start off in Buenos Aires, fly to Ushuaia, and then we sail out to Antarctica with a number of amazing stops where you can see the whales and the penguins and all of the incredible sea life that are known and indigenous only to the Antarctic. We also go to the Arctic. So for those who want to check that off your bucket list as well, we're sailing from Tromsø in the northern part of Norway up to Svalbard, which is north of the Arctic Circle. And this is filled with great flora and fauna, including animals that include the polar bears, the Arctic fox, as well as the Arctic reindeer. But it's also home to unique flora and fauna, and it's also the home of the Heritage Seed Repository, where they store all the seeds for the future. If you want to stay a little closer to home, I have gotten very excited about these itineraries. You know, I often put the Great Lakes kind of off to my retirement, but after being stuck at home for the last year and a half, I've really come to appreciate what this amazing country that we live in has to offer. And a lot of us have never taken the time to explore the Great Lakes. And if you're an outdoor person, or you're a history buff, or you just want to explore a little bit and learn about Eastern Canada, this is a wonderful way to do it. So our expedition ship will be sailing here in the Great Lakes, but it's more of a combination river and expedition. It's not hardcore expedition. It's going to be a lot more of a similar experience to what we do along the rivers in Europe as well. So we've got Niagara in the Great Lakes, which sails between Toronto and Milwaukee. We're visiting Niagara Falls, Point Paley, which is a bird sanctuary, and then down into Detroit, Mackinac Island, which is a small 3-mile island with no cars. You have to get around by bicycle or horse and carriage, and it's got lots and lots of great War of 1812 history. You'll find that as we travel through this area. Great Lakes Explorer spends 3 days up in Georgian Bay. This is where a lot of the sunken ships are. So you'll be able to go down on the Canadian side in the submarine and go over the Edmund Fitzgerald, as well as some of the other amazing shipwrecks that are known for this area. But we also visit some indigenous villages. You'll learn about the cranberry industry up in this northern part, as well as just see incredible scenery. And then Undiscovered Great Lakes takes you from Thunder Bay down into the southern part of the Great Lakes. Down through the Apostle Islands with its dramatic limestone cliffs into Houghton, which is a copper mining center, as well as some of the other great spaces that we see. So I just wanted to wrap up by giving you the opportunity to cruise with confidence. We've extended our risk-free guarantee program, and this allows you to book now and know that you can cancel up to 14 days prior to departure and not be penalized. We will, if you've got a choice, you can take a voucher that's good for 2 years. You just have to book within that 2-year period. You don't have to travel, but it allows you to take the money that you've invested and to defer it to the future as a future cruise voucher. So you can do that, or you can just take our standard cancellation penalty and file a claim with your insurance provider through Expedia if you like, and you can take a refund if there's still a balance available. But this is a great way to book now and not worry about what the future has to offer, and have something to look forward to, which is what I want to do. And then finally, we are in a wonderful promotion with Expedia called World Explorer. And what I've tried to do this evening was to give you the chance to explore the world a little bit with Viking, but we're also going to offer you a special incentive because you have joined us here tonight. So we have our $100 per stateroom shipboard credit, per person shipboard credit, for our new river and ocean bookings. Now, World Explorer only focuses on our European rivers. So by joining us tonight, you have a little extra, because I've extended it not just to our European river cruises, but also to our Russia, as well as our European river cruises and our ocean ships. The only thing it's not applicable to is Mississippi or Expedition, Southeast Asia, or Egypt cruises. So it's a little bit more focused on our core itineraries. We have the most space. But I want to just stress also that space is filling really, really quickly. A lot of guests have that bucket list backup. They have already booked or rebooked cruises from previous years when things were suspended, and the space is going very, very quickly. So if you're at all interested in looking to the future and also dreaming about having something to look forward to, now is a great time to take advantage of the offers and the expertise that Expedia brings to the table, and especially the consultants in Calgary and Red Deer. So Susan, turning it back to you, I hope I've inspired people. I know we might have some questions, but please talk to your consultants to get more detail on everything that I've talked about.
Yes, thank you, Kim. That was a great, great presentation. I got to figure out if we'll go to Egypt or if I'm going to do the river and the ocean one and the expedition one. I'm sure Dawn doesn't want to go to the Antarctic, but I certainly do. So thanks for a sleepless night tonight while I ponder which one I'm going to do. But anyways, does anybody, you can unmute yourself if you have any questions that you would like to ask him specifically, or you can definitely send the question in the chat and I would be more than happy to help get Kim to answer the question for you. We are super excited to have this exclusive promotion. As I say, Viking Ocean and River is a great partner of all of our offices, Red Deer South, and Kim is a huge supporter of all of us. And it's a tough business, but it's much easier when you have support like Kim and Viking. I don't see any questions. Kim, maybe you've got everybody thinking too hard now on what trip that they want to take. But anyways, on behalf of the Red Deer team and the Calgary teams, oh, here we go. Yay, just before I was ready to wrap up. Donna wanted to know, are the Russia cruises currently sailing? Great question, Donna.
Yeah, they're not at the moment because there are restrictions going into Russia right now, but we hope that we'll be going back next year. As you all know, that different countries are still closed to international travelers. Russia are still closed. So that's why you see some of the itineraries that I was mentioning that are just for November, December, and through February. That's because we've had to redeploy ships to be able to give people some options that it's a little closer to home. So we hope that next year we'll be able to get back to business and hopefully take you all over the world.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, and just a couple really nice comments. Laurie said great presentation, and Chuck and Laurie as well from Calgary also really enjoyed your presentation. So if there is nothing else, I want to again thank you everybody for attending on behalf of the Red Deer and Calgary's Calgary teams. We will have this recorded, so if you want to have a recording so you can look at it in your leisure, just reach out to your amazing Expedia consultant and give us a couple of days and we will be more than happy to get that video off to you, and as it will be on our YouTube channels. So once again, thank you so much, Kim, on behalf of all of us. It sounds like you've done a few presentations by the sounds of your voice. So we shall let you go. Take care of yourself. Thank you, everyone, again for joining us. Stay safe and don't hesitate to reach out to your amazing team of Expedia consultants. Have a great evening, everyone. Bye.
Bye.